discussion brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council. And before we get started, a couple of housekeeping items. First, attendees, please submit questions via the GoToWebinar control panel. We will follow up with answers via email. 2, if you want to watch the video archive, you will receive a link to this webcast via email in the next 24 hours. Now, a little bit about our sponsor. Before I turn it over to our presenters, allow me to share some background on our web news sponsor, TripActions, fast becoming the default for corporate travel and spend management as the leading cloud-based T&E platform that combines industry-leading technology with best-in-class travel agency service, trusted by travel managers and finance teams alike at more than 5,000 companies globally. Visit tripactions.com for more information. Now I will turn it over to our speakers.
Here, welcome to How to Scale a Finance Team at a High Growth Company. Today we have with us Sam Siegel, who's a VP of Finance at Zoomin, and Thomas Long, Senior Product Marketing Manager at TripActions Liquid. So I will turn it over to Thomas, who can take it from here.
Cool. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. It's gonna be a fun conversation. So yeah, I'm Thomas Long. I run kind of product marketing for TripActions Liquid, which is, as you know, at a high level of TripActions, we have a travel platform, and then we have like a corporate card and spend management platform. And I kind of run a lot of the product marketing for that side of things. I've been there for about 3 years, and yeah, it's been a fun ride for sure. And then Sam, it'd be great if you could introduce yourself.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Siegel. I'm VP Finance at Zoomin Software. I'm based in New York City, from here originally. I'll explain a little bit what Zoomin does, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my background, and then we can kind of jump into it. So Zoomin, what we do is we basically set a new standard for how customers experience technical content. So we work with enterprises that have lots of different products, and with every product they create, they have a whole ecosystem of content that surrounds it. We help them unify all that content, bring all that content into one place, and then surface the most relevant content to their end users. So we're talking about user manuals, community discussions, knowledge guides, API documentation, etc. So we help with that end to end with both big enterprises as well as mid-sized companies. So as I mentioned, I'm originally from New York. Got the early start of my career at Goldman Sachs. I was there for about 5.5 years working with fintech companies, providing them with financing. After that, I worked at an LA-based fintech startup called Tala, which I helped grow from Series A to post-Series D. And then I moved back to New York City, where I linked up with Zoomin, and I've been here for about 2 years now.
Very cool. So Sam knows a lot about running the finance function for a company that's growing fast and that's raising money and all these things. So it'd be great to hear from him. So I guess, Sam, to start, as the VP of Finance, kind of what are your primary roles, and what do you spend most of your time on day to day?
Yeah, so I would say at the highest level, there are kind of 2 big items that guide my work, right? One is the company on the right path? I'm serving as basically the steward of financial performance and of performance in general. And the second is, are the employees at my company empowered? Okay. So number one, I really need to have a deep understanding of the drivers of our business and what we need to be aware of down the road. So these are things that our CEO cares about, our leadership cares about, both our current investors as well as prospective investors also care about. So is our CAC payback increasing or decreasing? Why? Is our cash burn, what's the situation with our cash burn, net negative churn, all the SaaS metrics, performance metrics, headcount growth or decline, really kind of being on top of that and understanding the story and the drivers behind why all those things are happening. The second kind of big bucket, when I'm talking about empowering the employees of my company, I basically view all G&A functions, not just finance, especially finance, but not just finance. So we're talking about HR, BizOps, legal, learning and development, etc. I basically view these functions as the enablers of a company. When G&A is working at peak performance, it's a massive unlock for the business. Basically, it enables all the people who we've brought on, sales, marketing, product, R&D, support, etc., to just focus on their work, right? If G&A is working properly, that means that the people who we've brought here can do their jobs and do their jobs really well with a clear mind. So those are kind of the two big buckets of work. That's on a very high level. On a more mundane task and like tactical level, we're talking about fundraising, we're talking about board meetings, we're talking about our vendors getting paid, are our employees getting paid, are we getting paid by our customers, are we compliant with all the different things that we need to be compliant with. And then I'll just kind of sum all that up. Sitting on top of those two buckets is, at the end of the day, even though I'm overseeing finance, I'm a leader at this company, and I need to kind of really be making sure that the company is working as it should and serving its customers, our customers, as we should be. So, I think it's maybe sometimes tempting to just kind of park yourself within finance and worry about finance, but I also view myself as a steward of the company writ large.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. It's interesting to hear how much falls on your plate and how much you're responsible for. And then with the G&A point, like our CFO at TripActions, he's our CFO, and he's also in charge of the whole people team and like the office, workplace team. So it's like it makes sense for those things to come together for sure. So that said, I've seen a lot of finance teams that have different structures and different numbers of people that kind of cover different things, but for Zoomin, kind of what how many people do you have on the team now, and then how do you anticipate the team growing over time and their responsibilities growing?
Definitely. So it's a small team right now. We're actively hiring. So there's me. We have a controller and a bookkeeper, and director of financial operations. Those are 3 roles based out of our Tel Aviv office. I also oversee legal, so our general counsel is also